The State Chamber's annual agenda is the game plan for efforts here in the spring at 23rd and Lincoln. But the process to produce it is a year-round affair, starting with solid data and research, followed by business leaders thinking things through in our Council of Advisor meetings.
In recent years, the State Chamber has rethought the way we work here at the Capitol, pushing for bold, transformative legislation that impacts all businesses across the state.
In 2025, the State Chamber will focus its efforts on legal reform, taxes, and of course, workforce.
I think for the rest of probably all of our lives, finding an adequate and trained workforce is going to be one of the most important challenges that we're all going to face. So the business community needs to not wait and hope that these people will show up, but needs to be part of the solution.
In 2023, the Chamber helped establish the groundbreaking Oklahoma Workforce Commission. Led by private sector leaders, it continues to explore our state's workforce players and pipelines. But now it's time for action.
We're one of, 2 or 3 states in the country right now that is not doing their part with respect to funding these critical workforce categories. This new commission has to be properly resourced now, not only to administer the precious little funds we get federally, but we now have to think about how we're going to match that and get a multiplier effect and become a leader.
Getting students into the workforce and keeping them in Oklahoma is critical for our state's long-term growth. The State Chamber continues to press for less red tape when it comes to work-based learning opportunities like internships and apprenticeships.
More than ever, the need to have a highly trained, skilled workforce, and to do that, to have kids in the pipeline, we need to provide opportunities for them in the schools where they can see that path when they're in school. They can see where those jobs might be and get them connected.
The Chamber will also focus efforts on changing the way schools themselves are graded, focusing on successful outcomes for students, not just test scores.
The people that are involved in education are good people and they want to perform, they want to deliver. And this is really a process where we can give them some input into what the measurement looks like. What does it look like for success? And there's nobody who has a better grasp of what that is than the folks that are on the front line in that every day.
One of the challenges we have is that quality daycare is a challenge for some of our employees in terms of the affordability. So being able to help them with that cost allows them to go back to work or return to work and help us solve our problems with the workforce.
The State Chamber and its members consider childcare workforce infrastructure. That's why we continue to push for tax credits for employers that offer childcare options for their employees.
When you invest and invest wisely, it can enlarge the future for everyone. And good government programs, like a program targeting childcare, will do exactly that. They're the kind of things that will grow the pie. They'll lead to a more competitive business class in Oklahoma. They'll lead to more tax revenues. And so sometimes it really is, you spend money to make money. And I think that this is one of the situations where it's pretty clear that wise investments in this area could be a very high return on investment for Oklahoma.
Legal reform has been on the minds of Oklahoma business leaders for many years. It will be a top priority for the Chamber in 2025.
It's important for Oklahoma's courts to be predictable for business, and that's why legal reform's on our agenda this year. So one, we're looking at requiring disclosure of third-party funding agreements in lawsuits so businesses know what they're up against when they go to court. We're also looking at strengthening contract law so that businesses, their contractors and subcontractors have clarity in what they're agreeing to and what they can be held liable for. These reforms will help businesses do what they do best, do business, drive the economy, and not be caught up in a courtroom.
Tax competitiveness is really important as it speaks to greater opportunity for in-migration of skilled workers and retention of our skilled workers.
And the State Chamber will continue to advocate for pro-growth tax reform by condensing income tax brackets and reducing barriers in the corporate income tax. Oklahoma will be more attractive to companies from across the country and the globe.
We've made a lot of progress in taxes, but so have other states. We've actually fallen in the rankings. So we need to keep the momentum up to continue the pro-growth nature of our tax structure.
Ultimately, these initiatives need to be heard at the Capitol, and the State Chamber is ready to be the leading voice for Oklahoma business.
The 2025 legislative agenda has some really critical pieces on it that I'm really excited to take to the state capitol and socialize with legislators and the executive branch. With the unified voice of the business community behind us at our backs, we can get these across the finish line and continue the movement for economic development and workforce development that businesses rely on.
We know our role. It's to be the voice for business at the Capitol. Our priorities this year will make a difference for Oklahoma, and whatever challenges come our way, we're ready because our job is to make Oklahoma the best place to do business in the country.